Hey everyone. Today we're going to be focusing on the figure. A figure is a representation of a person or animal in an artwork. We're going to be focusing on the person though, and we're going to use our knowledge of the skeleton to sketch out and plan what our figures are going to look like. And we're actually going to create a pattern filled with figures that we're going to also apply our knowledge of patterns onto to make it into an interesting artwork. So go ahead and grab a paper and a pencil, and if you want to use some colors, grab some colors as well, and we will get started on this figure drawing design. All right, I'm going to start off by drawing a quick little reference of a skeleton, the one that we're going to use for our drawings today. And you'll see they don't have a lot of details. It's very simple because we're not drawing a skeleton, we're drawing a person. And the skeleton is just to help us organize things and plan it out. So I have a head, ribs, hips, connected by the spine. If he was going to lean, I would draw the head, ribs, and hips diagonal, so it looked like he was leaning one way or the other. And then the legs are connected to the body at the hips. They have two parts. There's the bone above your knee, and then the rest of your leg below the knee with feet on the ends. Same thing for the arms. They're almost identical, they're just a little bit shorter. So they're connected to the body at the shoulder. There's the part above your elbow, and then the part below your elbow down to your hand. So this is the skeleton I'm going to use. I'm going to stick it right there just for reference. To start this drawing, I would suggest you use a pencil, because then you can erase mistakes or anything that you want to make changes to as you work. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to fill this entire paper up with figures. So we're not going to make them so big that we can only fit one, and we're not going to make them so small that we have to put 100 in them in there because that would take forever. So we're going to try to find like a happy medium where we draw our head, ribs, hips, connect them with the spine, put our arms in, and then our legs. And as you can see, I'm trying to create an interesting pose. I'm not going to draw any of them that look just like this, because this is kind of boring. We're just using this as a reference so that we remember all the parts. I want the actual picture to be interesting, so the figures are going to be in all sorts of interesting poses. Now, if you have trouble coming up with poses, a good place to look for pictures of poses would be in like a magazine or a comic book if you have those. They have lots of figures in them, and then you can just look at them and try to figure out what you think the skeleton would look like underneath. So there's my first figure. So now the object of this activity is to try to squeeze figures around this figure and keep going till you hit the edges of the paper. So now what we're going to do is we're going to create silhouettes around these figures. All of the figures are outlined and we're ready to start coloring it. This is the finished figure drawing design. I chose a small group of colors. That helps to make all the figures work together. They're more harmonious that way because they're all pink, orange, and green. And then I used a completely different set of colors in the background to separate the background from the figures. Unintentionally, I sort of have this feeling that things are getting sucked down into this portal in the center. And a lot of the figures, their positions and their poses sort of go along with that idea that they are actually getting sucked down into this little
circle down in the center. Well, except for that guy right there who seems to be pretty relaxed right now. And this guy who I probably could draw a little rope right here. And here he is holding onto a rope, trying not to get sucked into the portal. I hope you had fun, and I will see you next time for another drawing activity.